This is Team 6, Fenway, presentation on Samsung. In 2016, the world will be a very different place. The technologies that we know and use today will be integrated into every aspect of our lives. In the houses that we live in the cars that we drive, and also in the offices that we work in. And Samsung will be ubiquitous with this change, both by creating new gadgets and also by integrating the technology that we have today into these everyday products. By inverting today in concepts such as the futuristic dream car, Samsung will be the company of the future and will create and will grow its market share. Please accompany us as we present to you our idea.
Okay, let's talk about their innovation intent first. Why do Samsung need to innovate? Here are two things. First, their working principles. In a recent New Year's address, the chairman of Samsung, Lee Gung-hee, strongly stressed the importance of challenging and new business exploration again to be the #1 company in the world. Here are changing environments. As far as market concerned, there are always global economic slump in the past, and rapid changing IT industry also threatening. Even customers are nowadays tend to be cool-headed. Even iPhone also had difficulty last year. From their long-term vision, we can check their targets in 2020. They want to be number 5th best brand in the world and 10th most admired company in the world with $4 billion of sales in 2020. Here their innovation portfolio. Samsung has ideal vertical integration within their industry, so they can manage within their core to reach their target. And their direction should be global pathfinder, not the follower anymore. And here is one thing. They have to be long-term based investment. From this analysis, we can get some insights. Why do they need to innovate? They have to be world top tier within 7 years, and there is strong commitment from their leadership. They have to be #1 global company within 5 years, within 7 years. And how do they manage their innovation? Within their core business, but fast and steady innovation should be lead to their financial targets in 2020.
Thanks a lot, Jian. Now we need to look into the opportunity insights, and we need to find out the trends that is happening around Samsung or the products of Samsung. Let's look at the global forces. What is changing globally? Economic growth of middle class around the countries like BRIC and Africa, which are the major buyers of Samsung products. Tablets and phones nowadays use less power or energy than computers. So people are going green, so they're moving towards tablets and phones. Introduction of Android, which is a tailor-made application for phones, smartphones, and tablets. People are trying to go paperless, so they are moving into e-paper, e-technologies, and introduction of augmented reality. That is another new thing for tablets and cell phones. Why Samsung needs to innovate? They need to look into the competition and the alternatives which is happening around them. Now, Microsoft has come up with Windows 8, which can be used in laptops which are convertible into tablets. So that is a new competition for Samsung. Apple and LG, Hawaii, these are the major competitions for Samsung. So people are looking into different products apart from Samsung. So they are the major competition for Samsung. So Samsung needs to innovate. This is a changing world now. Now we need to look into the new technologies. What is changing around Samsung? Changing capabilities and technologies. connectivity is moving from 3G to 4G. So the speed is dynamic, it's changing, so they need to cope up with the new technologies. Samsung needs to do partnership with the top network manufacturers, network providers like AT&T or Verizon, who can provide more market to Samsung. Latest technologies in cameras, batteries, in smartphones and tablets. These are changing every day. So Samsung needs to work on these things as well. Samsung needs to also look into the customers. The customers are the major buyers for Samsung products are youth who are buying tablets and smartphones. Introduction of corporate buyers like education institutes, institutes like healthcare. They are the major buyers of Samsung products nowadays. So technology is also influencing, new technology coming up, people are moving into new things. So customers are looking into these aspects nowadays. Thank you.
Based on the trends Kashil spoke about, we have identified 5 fields of play where Samsung can innovate in. The first we identified is education, the use of Samsung phones and tablets for special education. The second is the healthcare industry, where Samsung devices will be used to monitor health performance and, for example, to use a mobile phone to check whether or not you're pregnant. That's interesting. Thirdly, for military operations. Fourth, the automobile dream car industry, where Samsung actually starts the whole flying car process. And fifth is the home monitoring systems, where you could use your tablet or your mobile phone to monitor things going on in your house. It could be to lock your apartment, to reduce the temperature of the air conditioner, and to do so many other things. Based on our analysis, we have identified that the automobile dream car industry is the best field of play for Samsung to innovate in. Why? There's a huge market for automobiles. Research shows that in 5 years, the demand for new vehicles is going to increase to 150% in 5 years. Secondly, this actually satisfies the needs of customers. People are stuck in traffic nowadays and they need to do more work from their cars. So Samsung can actually play a part in helping people get more satisfaction. Thirdly is that Samsung will be able to enter new markets. To be able to penetrate into the US markets, the emerging markets of Africa and Asia, Samsung can do this by innovating in the automobile industry. He's going to talk about business concepts.
Okay, so we came up with 5 business concepts. The first of them, integration with tablets, which our tablet could control the stereo or turn on the vehicle wirelessly, or even to offer data to the maintenance. The second, the office car, in which your car would be an office itself. Third, augmented reality, in which images could be shown on your windshield. I mean, image from traffic, image from night view cameras, and so on. Fourth, automatic driving, in which the car would drive itself. You just would point out the directions, and the car would go, would bring you there. And the fifth, mobile interface, in which your mobile would have some features that works along with the automobile ones. So the winner was the office car, in which you could send mail, make phone calls, conference calls, just SAP, or even editing documents in your car. It would be your private secretary. And Kaushal is going to explain you a little bit more about it.
Now, we need to look into what the competitors are doing, who are working in the office car concept. There's a company called Limousine World, who are working on a model called Executive Mobile Office SUV, and they're having partnership with the luxury models like Mercedes and Cadillac. So because they have only looked into luxury models, they are out of reach from the middle class. Volkswagen is also working on office car concept, which is called T6, but it's a concept, and it is far away from reality at the moment. So Samsung, how Samsung can do better than these competitions. Samsung has partnership with the car manufacturing company in South Korea called Renault. So they have a car manufacturing unit. So it's not new for them. And Samsung has subsidiaries like Samsung Electrics and Electronics. So they can make in-house products like LCDs, cameras, batteries, computers, stereos, which can be used in office car concept. And Samsung is already investing a lot in R&D, so they will be excited to look into office car concept. Thank you.
So, we came up with some numbers to evaluate the feasibility of the project. The worldwide fleet today of cars is more than 1 billion cars, about 25% of them in US. Last year's production was about 80 million cars, and the sales in US last year was more than 14 million. If in the worst case scenario we get only 1% of the sales in US, we're gonna rise up our sales from tablets of 10%, okay? And if in the best case scenario we got 5% of the world production, we would have a 3 times bigger tablet sales than last year. So the project is very interesting and very attractive. Okay.
Thank you, Rodrigo. Well, let's talk about the next steps. First of all, to understand the trends, how we get to this, how to get with this project. Let's see a little bit about the history of the cell phone. The first commercial cell phone was going to market in 1978, and that's allowed us to bring up conversation and text messaging. Then Palm and ROM developed the BlackBerry and the Pocket PC concept, which allow us to bring us email and calendar to our devices. The next step was many breakthroughs through the last few years, which allow us to bring music, GPS capabilities, web browsers, and application app stores. That's unified many devices into a cell phone. So, to see what's the future, what's the next steps, we need to see fast forward, to see how's going to be the next devices. Next, please.
Understand.
Oh, thank you. First, Samsung need to create more joint alignment with car producers in order to create the concept of the office car. Then Samsung needs to design a reliable platform who allows to communicate cell phones and tablets with cars. And then the process of engineering, which includes comply with country regulation and international standards about car industry. And then create the car and make the test market and make it commercial. Then the next step is never stop innovation. We are thinking about the car with the actual state of art of technology. We need to go forward and see and include the prototype of today, the augmentation reality, the retina scan that Rodrigo introduced us. And finally, for our next step, for our next 15 years, 20 years, we need to think how the human is going to read off devices, how the human is going to control the thing just with the mind. We are thinking about introduce chips into the brain and just control the car and all of the devices with the mind. This is a very fast forward thinking, and this is something that I think is, well, we think is our future. I'll let you with Mary.
While thinking of the future, it's also good to think about the potential problems that Samsung might have in coming up with this new dream car. Samsung may face unfavorable government regulations, patent wars, and unfavorable partnerships. To mitigate this problem, Samsung has to cooperate with the governments in the regions where they're going to be selling their cars. Samsung needs to be proactive about gaining patent right over their innovation, and they also have to research about the right partners to have. Be the companies that are going to produce the car and the people who are going to help them in selling the car. They need to be proactive about this.
We live in an exciting time, and Samsung is perfectly positioned to take over a huge market share in the future. By being responsible for the breakthroughs, both in augmented reality and also by implementing known technologies into the futuristic car, Samsung will be able to grow its overall market share. I'd like to thank you for participating in this presentation.